Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Njideka, but of course you can now call me NJ. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in Nnewi, Anambra State. Yeah guys, if you're new here, welcome. You're definitely on the right channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always tuning in. Thank you for all your love and your support. And yeah guys, I'm sure you guys can already tell like how excited I am. That is because this is officially our second community video. Yes guys, so our first community video went live about a month ago and it turned out great, all thanks to you guys. And yeah guys, today we are airing our second community video, and I really want to take this opportunity to say a very big thank you to everyone who participated, everyone who sent in their videos, who took out time to actually make the video and then send it in. You guys, thank you so much for always working together to make this channel great. And yeah, for those of you who didn't get the chance to send in a video, that's fine, that's okay. We're still going to have, many community videos along the road, up ahead, and you guys can always participate in the upcoming ones, of course. And yeah guys, so like 2 weeks ago we all came together to pick a topic. We had 3 topics to pick from, and yeah, the votes were quite synonymous. Like almost everyone picked the same topic, and the topic is: should children, that's children 18 years and below, be given age appropriate sex education? Do you think it is right or it is wrong? In our society today, some people think it's a must to give kids, age appropriate sex education, while some people think it's a taboo. Like, people have mixed feelings on this topic. And yeah, it was really nice, hearing what you guys have to say. And today it is time for everyone to join in the discussion. And yeah guys, we're going to head over to the community to hear from our community people, and I'll see you guys after that.
And the whole community gang. My name is Chantel and I am a YouTuber as well. I decided to infuse my 2 cents into the discussion whether every child actually should be given age appropriate sex education. Yes, I absolutely agree. When you say age appropriate, it also translates to being developmentally appropriate. What I mean by that is, for a 2-year-old, you can't go on ahead telling them about sex and what it entails. What they're interested in at that age is what is inside mommy's stomach. Mommy's stomach is protruding. Is there a baby in there? And you can explain, oh, baby is in mommy's stomach, but you don't have to give them the whole details about that. Then when they progress to being maybe 4 or 5 years, they should be able to name the different parts of their body, their private area included, not with pet names like boo-boo, chum-chum. It has to be called penis, vagina, breast, everything. Once they grow older again, you can now tell them what each part of the body does and how they should react when somebody touches their private area. So when they grow into being teens and entering college, you can now sit them down and tell them in depth of what doing things with your private area can amount to, the good, the bad, everything. And hopefully God will give them the sense to decipher between wrong and right. I hope I made sense, and thank you for having me, NJ. Bye.
So I recently tried to educate my 9-year-old about periods and getting pregnant. And then it got to the point where she was like, so, oh my God, Mom, is that what you did? Did Daddy touch your pee-pee for you to get pregnant? And as you can imagine, I had to postpone that discussion for later. So I understand how uncomfortable it makes parents to discuss such topics with their kids, but it's just one that is absolutely necessary. So we all should do it. When they're 18, they're getting ready to be out there on their own, and you want to be the one to educate your kids, to tell them what this whole sex thing is all about, the dangers, the pleasures of it, if you want to do that, but they should be prepared. And I think we as parents should be the ones to prepare them for whatever is to come. So let's do it. I know it's hard to do. It's going to be hard for me to do. I'm not going to promise that I'll do it right, but I'm going to do it. I will do it.
Hi everyone, I'm Naza. So yes, I think it's very, very important to have this age-appropriate sex education talks with teenagers and kids that are less than 18 years. For instance, I have a junior sister who is 13 years, and I always tell her things she needs to know about sex education. She knows a lot about HIV, she knows about STDs, STI, abstinence, contraception, genital warts. I tell her things like this because I know that very soon she's going into the real world. She will meet a lot of new people, she'll make friends, and she won't have family members around in the university there with her. So she needs not to be naive at that point in her life. She needs to be able to stand up for herself. She needs to know most of these things so that she won't make mistakes in life. I mean, so that people can't just tell her things and she will believe. She'll be enlightened. She'll know what to do and what not to do. So I think it's very, very important to tell kids these things. Thank you.
Hello, NJ. Chibuike Olasi here. As a father of three, I think it is important to give our children age-appropriate sex education for the following reasons: trust, puberty, sexual behavior, body changes, personal skills, friendship, predators, sexting, dangers of porn, and digital age. In my case, my twins will be 13 in October, and it's a good idea to periodically chat about internet safety and to build on your already established digital rules and values. For example, talk frankly about how sharing nude or sexually explicit photos of themselves or their peers may be illegal. They could be charged with making distributing child pornography, even if everyone involved is okay with it. The huge benefit of talking to your kids from an early age is that you have empowered them with the knowledge to be able to make good decisions about sex. You also have a relationship with them where they know that they can talk to you about anything, and I mean anything.
So, my name is Blessing Bestword here on YouTube. So I will be answering the question that Banter with NJ asked. For me, if you know your child is so smart, you need to teach him early. You need to tell him about sex early. But if your child is not that smart, you need to wait a little bit. But not 18 years is too much, because children, they are seeing that you can give them your phone and the phone will they'll go another place and they'll see what you have been hiding. So when we were growing up, our parents used to tell us that when a man touch you, you get pregnant. See, it was a lie, but it helped a lot of us, because I was thinking, if any man come close to me, I'm going to get pregnant. So it is very important to teach our children about sex, to educate them, let them know. It is very important, and it depends on the child. If the child is very smart, teach the child early. Thank you so much, guys.
No, it is never a taboo. And I totally agree with you, NJ, that children should be sex educated as early as possible. It is our right and our duty as parents, elders, aunts, uncles, to educate these children, to avoid them getting the information either from friends, from the internet, or watch it on television. So tell me, which of this is better? Is it better we sit back and watch them sort out the information themselves, which can be detrimental to them when they get the wrong ones? Or is it better we educate them on time to avoid stories that touch the heart? Please, that information you are conveying on that child should be dependent on that child's age. Thank you very much. I am Mrs. Ugonna with YouTube handle Mommy Truth YouTube. Thank you.
Hello guys, this is Millicent XANDERCS from the XANDERCS family. So to answer NJ's question, NJ, I think that every child deserves the right to be taught about sex education at a very early stage, at least before the child starts menstruating, if it's a girl, or I don't know what boys do, well, before that time ahead, you get what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is this: every child deserves to be taught by their parents or by their teacher. You don't want them to learn it from other sources like their peers or from adults who are pedophiles and stuff like that. If not, you're going to wake up one morning and hear that your child was in the bathroom with one boy like that, doing what Tontonike and I used to do. You don't want something like that. So as a mom to 4 girls, I've told myself, once my girls are up to 9 years old, I'm going to sit them down and I'm going to educate them on everything they need to know about sex education. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm Deborah from Global Deborah. Answer to the question: yes, I do think that children should be given sex education appropriate to their age, because to be honest, nowadays in this generation, kids do know everything. They might pretend not to know. They're smart enough to pretend like they do not know, but they do know everything. Kids of 9 years old, 10 years old, they actually know what sex means. That's very like wow. But yes, that's the truth. Kids do know a lot of things, and they discuss it with their peers, they discuss it with their friends. So instead of making them search for answers in the wrong places, why not parents or the elder ones close to these children actually teach them about the right way? It is not teaching them about sex, it is teaching them about sex education, so that they know, and when people try to tell them stuff outside, they're like, I already know this, and this is right and this is wrong. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Adam. Of course it's appropriate to give them the right sex education at the right time, because whether you like it or not, they're going to go outside and they're going to learn all these things. So rather than get misinformed outside, teach them what you want them to learn, okay? So you don't get disappointed later on. Alright, take care.
Hello guys, my name is Ugochi, and I'm here to talk about whether or not it's right to talk about sexual education or to have sexual education with your kids before the age of 18. And my answer is yes, absolutely 100% yes. In fact, to me, it's a must. So the first stage is about letting your kids know their sexual organs. So like kind of an orientation. So moving on, as a child grows to becoming a teenager or preteen, at the time the sexual hormone starts to express itself, it's recommended that you also start talking about sex itself to your kids, because at that stage a lot of them start to experiment, and being that it's also new, they either learn it from their peers or from books, from magazines, from movies and what have you. And if they don't have a very strong understanding of what sex is, then they are going to be caught up with the vices of sex. So sex education should actually consist of being safe, using contraceptive, learning when to say no, learning the importance of saying no, not letting sex define you as a woman or as a man. Being said, my answer is yes. Once again, it is extremely important for kids to have sexual orientation before the age of 18.
Hello guys, hello NJ. My name is Ebony. I'm making this video from Malta. To me, it's very, very important for parents to teach, for we as parents to teach our children about sex education from childhood. Mostly in today's society, whereby sex is the highlight of everything. To me, it's very, very, very important. Let me give my reasons. So number one, children are easily influenced when they don't have enough information. So as a child, if you don't give your child good information, the right information, they might be misled hearing it from other sources. So as a parent, I think you are the right person to teach your children about sex education. Then my number two, sex is life. We are all product of sex. Then my number three is when you talk to your children about sex education, they will trust you more, and they will be confident, and they will be so comfortable with you. Thanks so much. These are my reasons, and God bless you all.
Hi guys, I am Abiodun by name, but AB Special on YouTube. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in Philippines. So I want to talk about giving children age-appropriate sex education. Yeah, I feel it's right because children are more curious about sex. So I don't think we should deprive them the knowledge, because if you don't teach them the right way, they might learn it the wrong way. So it's okay for parents and teachers to instill correct knowledge about sex to these young ones. So I don't want to say much. In summary, if sex education is comprehensive, it helps them to be more informed, make safer choices, and get healthy outcome. So that's all I have to say. Bye.
Hi, my name is Christian. Here to talk about sex education and young people. In my own opinion, giving young people sex education is not just important. I think it's a must for every young person out there. Come to think of it, growing up as a child, we had so many subjects in school, but I can't remember being taught in details, sex education. And it's weird the way I personally got to know about sex education. But that was then. In today's world, you find out many young people out there, they get to know about sex education through movies, books and the internet. And parents of nowadays, or some parents, do think teaching young fellows, sex education will give them the idea of having early sex. But to me, it's the other way around. It's going to teach them a lot, they get to know about STDs, they get to know how to prevent unwanted pregnancies. Girls get to know about contraceptives. Sex education on young people will also boost their physical, mental, and social development, and also prepare them for a healthy and happy sexual and reproductive life.
Hey guys, thank you everyone for having me here. My name is John Sandra Onyinye. I was here last time during the last community video, and I'm glad to be here again. So regarding the topic, if it's important for us to educate our children about sex education, yes, it is very, very important, because it helps create a good communication between the parents. Like when you educate your child about sex education, it helps to maintain a good parent and child communication. It also helps the children to disclose sexual abuse. When an adult tries to abuse them sexually, it helps them to disclose it, because they already know that what the person is trying to do is not good. It also helps to keep them safe from sexual abuse. It helps to prevent sexually transmitted diseases. It helps to prevent unwanted pregnancy. So it helps to make them adjust to adulthood when it is the right time to make their decision, when it is the right time for them to start having sex, or for them to engage in sexual activities. It also helps to make them make smart decisions when it comes to issues regarding to sex. So I think with these few points, I've been able to air my view that it is very important to educate our children about sex early enough, especially during their teenage. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.
I'm from the Variety Mom channel. Yes, I believe it is very, very appropriate to teach children from the earliest age possible about their bodies. This will enable them to read and be able to interpret the actions of people around them. Also, you want your children to know what is acceptable out there and what people are doing out there, so you need to give them hints. However you want to give them, just make sure it is age appropriate and you are not feeding them with too much information at a particular time, so that when they go out there, nothing will come as a surprise to them. They will also be able to stay away and to say no when they should say no, and know what to expect when something is coming their way. If you are out there and you are not giving your children the age appropriate information regarding their bodies, you are making a big mistake.
It is very important to teach your kids about sex. In fact, I'm glad you said age appropriate sex education, because there is something to teach every child starting from the age of 2. As far as the child can call papa, mama, you start to teach that child about sex education in their own way of learning. You teach them about their private parts. You tell them to differentiate between their private parts. as little as a 2-year-old, they know their bum, they know their chest. So you start to teach them and differentiate the private parts to them, because if you don't take your time to teach them, the wicked people out there will teach them. I'm sure you'll be wondering, I'm saying you teach a 2-year-old. If a silly person can rape a 6-month-old baby, why can't you teach a 2-year-old that you don't touch your private parts? You tell them and differentiate between the private and the public parts. You differentiate it and make it clear to them in their own lane terms. Don't wait until a child is a teenager before you start teaching the child about sex education. There are so many ways you teach a child and they will learn and they would not forget, because these children are vulnerable to so many things. You will not always be there with them, and if you're not there, what will happen to them if they've not heard about it, if they don't even know about it, that no one is supposed to touch their private part? And as parents, please, as far as your child can identify things and their body parts, ensure that you avoid taking your bath in their presence. You avoid meeting with your partner, you know what I mean, in their presence. You may think they are very small, they can't say all these things, but they watch you, they see you. Thank you.
I'm going to be answering the question if it's okay, if it's right to give children who are 18 years and below age-appropriate sex education. In my opinion, I think it's the right thing to do. And I think so firstly because if you teach a child about sex education, they will know what is appropriate and what is not. And if someone else should touch them inappropriately, they will know that something wrong is going on, and they'll be able to report to the right authorities, either to their parents or to their guardian. Also, it also prepares people for sexual relationships. I know we are religious in our country, but we can't dispute the fact that some people are going to have sex before marriage, and if they are going to do that, they should go into it having knowledge on how to prevent STDs and also how to prevent unwanted pregnancies, but at the same time still fulfilling their sexual urge or their sexual desires. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
My name is right? I'm happy to be part of this community video. I want to air my view about this sex education. You know, it's very good to educate our children about sex, because giving our children the basics about sex education can help prevent unprotected sex, unwanted teen pregnancy, like getting pregnant before the age of 18. Because most of our kids today, if you discover, they get pregnant before the age of 18, because there are nobody there to teach them, to educate them about sex. So that's why they fall victim, and it can still prevent sexually transmitted disease called STD. So with these few points, I think I've said why giving our children sex education is very important. All right, thank you guys.
Hey guys, good afternoon. My name is HUDU Naima Said. I am a YouTuber. Please, you can check on me on Naima HUDU on YouTube. So I feel my own share is that I feel it is very right to give our children sex education of age 18 and below. It is even better to give them earlier, so that they will hear everything from us and not from outside, because kids of these days are they are wiser than we think. They get and grab things that we think. So it is better they learn about sex education from us. It is better they learn about sex from us than hearing it from their peers outside or from other bad people outside. So I am in support of giving sex education to our children at a tender age. So thank you.
ODUH, a Nigerian YouTuber from Delta State. In today's topic, my humble opinion is that parents are great influencers when it comes to sex education for children, and sex education have different stages for a growing child below 18. From 3 to 5, you tell them what privacy is, and you give them different names for their private parts. If you are shy of calling them the real names, you give them minor names that they can understand, and you caution them that nobody, no stranger, even people inside, are not supposed to touch their private pass. Then from 6 to 8, those pet names you gave to those private parts while they were growing up, you tell them, you change it to the real names so that they can understand, because at this stage they can get details of some things. Then from 9 and above, that's where the real sex education comes in, where you tell them what puberty is, adolescent is, menstruation, wet dream, STDs, STI, how unwanted pregnancy can be avoided, saying no to unhealthy relationship, premarital sex, and the rest of it. Because in this stage they can understand and details of these things. Yes, sex education is appropriate for a child below 18 because it helps them and gives them detailed requirements in growing up. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is AC, and for the topic, I strongly believe that age-appropriate sex education is very important. One, it helps children understand the different body structures of male and female, of different sexes, the women and the men, and maybe also gain knowledge about birth, because children are always very curious about how babies are formed. Again, this knowledge that they've gained will in turn sort of set up a foundation for their future development in terms of their relationship with their lovers, with their friends, and generally their interpersonal relationships. And they begin to cultivate a sense of responsibility for their actions. They know the consequences of their actions, and then they are ready to take responsibility for those actions. Again, children are curious individuals, and they kind of tend to find answers to their questions. So when appropriate teachings or trainings aren't given, they may unfortunately get answers to their questions from indecent magazines or media houses, or from their friends basically. And once the wrong information is acquired or passed, it might actually be a very a more difficult task to correct it. So it's really important that age-appropriate sex education be given to kids. And I mean, just like every other thing we learn, example in mathematics, we start with little addition, subtraction before we go into like quadratic equations or whatnot. Same should also go for sex education. It should just be age appropriate. The right things should be taught at the right time so that they don't get misled. See you next time. Bye.
So guys, we've all heard what our community people have to say, and yeah, personally I think it is a must. Kids 18 years and below should be given age appropriate sex education. Like, you know, I think in our society today, the problem is that most times parents end up giving their children very little or no information at all on this topic, you know. Like, okay, let me give you guys an example. Like when I was younger, of course, a lot of us were all told that when a guy touches you, you get pregnant. That was what we were all told as kids. And so yeah, that helped, of course. It made us, you know, stay away from boys and all that and make good choices, you know, in most cases anyways. But then in my own case, yes, it helped a lot, but then we didn't have the information we needed at hand. And then one day in school, I was in primary school, I was in a boarding school, and then we came back from the holidays one day, and one of our friends called all of us, and she was like, you guys should come, oh, I have information, you know, this thing our parents told us about pregnancy, it's a lie, oh. I now know how a girl actually gets pregnant. And we're like, okay, yeah, tell us. And then she goes ahead to tell us that it is not just when a boy touches you. No, it is when you lie, when you steal, when you commit, you know, sin, and you know, when you do all those bad things, God will now punish you by making you pregnant. And yeah, like if some of you who watched my Get to Know Me tag would know this, that when I was little, I wanted to be a reverend sister. It is not because I loved God so much. No, it was because of the fear, because of all this, you know, wrong information we're getting from here and there. I just felt like, okay, if I'm a reverend sister, that means God will know I'm on his side. That means, you know, I don't commit all those, you know, little sins and all that. And so he punished me by making me pregnant. So yeah, that was the whole thing behind that reverend sister phase, because I was afraid. I was so afraid. I did not want to be punished with you know now. So yeah, that was it. And that was because I did not have the information that I needed at hand. I did not even know what's up. And when we now got to just one, yes, just one, and we now did that health education, we started doing health education and all that, and then they properly educated us and all that. We were all confused. Most of us were confused. We didn't know what was going on, and getting home we couldn't even ask our parents or our older ones, because like we didn't have that freedom. There was that bond wasn't there. Like we couldn't discuss everything with them, you know. There was a limit. And yeah, these days I see that parents are doing better, you know. They have a stronger bond with their kids. They can discuss about certain things, and they actually give them the age appropriate sex education they need. And yeah, kudos to such parents. And yeah, you know how kids are always so curious and all that. When sometimes they of course they go on the internet without you the parents knowing, and then they meet people, of course they hear things, they're told things, and they may be given the wrong information. And you know, these days kids, once they hear something or get to know about something, they want to know more, and in some cases they want to try it out. And when they don't have this information they need, they end up making the wrong decision and all that, you know, doing the wrong things. And I think it's like giving kids this information they need. It's a kind of empowerment. You're empowering them with the information they need to be able to know when something is wrong, the right thing from the wrong thing. Like, yeah, I think that kids, you know, age appropriate is just the key word. You know, from a younger age they should know their body parts, you know the names, not calling it. They should know what they do, and they should be able to also know when something is wrong, you know, when they are touched inappropriately, and when to run, of course. And yeah, for the guys, they should know when to stop, especially when a girl says no, because they should know that when a girl says no, it doesn't, you know, some people tell her body was saying yes and her mouth was saying no. No, you need to teach them that when someone says no, it's no, because if they don't stop, it could land them in prison and all that. And yeah, really, it's a must. I think it's a must. Kids need to have this information at hand. They need to be educated at every stage of their lives, you know, given the appropriate information they need. Age appropriate, of course, being the key word. They shouldn't be given too little information or be given too much, more than they should know and all that. That's what I think, and you've also heard from our community people, you know. And so if you sent in a video and you have more to say on the topic, or if you didn't send in a video but you have something to say, please tell us in the comment section below. We'd like to know. I'd really love to read all you guys think on this topic, because I think it's a really controversial one. Like it's you know, mixed feelings and all that. And yeah, guys, thank you so much once again to everyone who participated, who sent in a video. You guys are so amazing. Thank you for working together to make our channel great, to grow our community. And yeah, speaking about growing our community, please, if you're not subscribed, this is the time to subscribe. You know, we put out interesting content and we discuss controversial topics, and of course we have fun along the way. We put out vlogs as well. So yeah, please subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. And yes, if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course please subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, of course. Oh my gosh. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.